In my previous life, the doctor told me I would never be able to have children after marrying Leo. Leo, my loving, gentle husband, acted as though it didn't matter. He never once mentioned wanting children, never let the topic cross his lips in front of me. He made me believe his love was enough, until the day he inherited everything from my Ella family. At the thank you banquet, in front of hundreds of people, Leo stood with a glass of wine in hand and casually announced, smiling, that his first love son had just turned 22. The world seemed to tilt. So this was why he was too busy. All those years, why he came home late, or sometimes not at all. While I stayed awake waiting, he was with his first love raising their son. And the most humiliating part, he used my family's wealth to do it. The Ella family's money paid for their son's education, bought him a house, a car, everything. And I, still guilt-ridden over not being able to give Leo an heir, had been thanking him for his understanding. The truth ripped through me so violently that I vomited blood on the spot. My vision went black, and when I opened my eyes again, I was lying in a hospital bed, the cold weight of an oxygen tube pressing against my face. That was when Leo came. And in that smug, pitying tone I'll never forget, he confessed the final cruelty. He had bribed the doctor to lie. I could have had children. The daily medicine I'd been taking, birth control pills. Every day for years, I'd been swallowing the thing that destroyed my dreams, all at his command. I couldn't breathe. The pain, the rage, it crushed my chest until I felt my soul slipping away. I died that night. When I opened my eyes again, my mother was leaning against me, dozing lightly. Her voice, still half asleep but laced with disapproval, murmured, "Ella, are you really going to marry Leo tomorrow? I'll never understand it. Why do you and your father think so highly of him? I've always felt there's something wrong about him. Especially with that Cecilia woman." Her words froze me. It wasn't until she took my hand that I realized the impossible had happened. I'd been reborn. And this time, I wasn't going to be the fool he destroyed. In my previous life, I saw my mother with tears in her eyes because she was constantly nagging me about Leo's bad behavior. I was so angry that I rarely spoke to her. Even when my mother was sick, I seldom visited her in the hospital before her death. When I saw her for the last time, she told me, "Silly girl. Leo is a bright boy who is eager to learn and work hard, but he is not a good person." I did not argue at the time because my mother was seriously ill. I replied lightly, "Mum, I understand." Then my mother smiled and said, "I can rest assured." My mother passed away peacefully at night after fulfilling Y. And Sasha smiled. However, in the final examination report, I discovered that my mother died from poisoning. I took the exam report and asked the doctor. The doctor stated that your mother should have been taking chronic poison for at least 5 years. I sat up and looked at my mother, tears streaming down my cheeks. "Mum, I will listen to you. I will not marry Leo." When I thought about what the doctor had said, my pupils dilated suddenly. The year my mother died, I'd just been married for 5 years. That is, as soon as we were married, Leo began poisoning my mother. When my father died, the doctor said it was poisoning. But there were so many things going on in the company at the time that I didn't give it much thought. At the time, I was thinking about how to let Leo take over the massive company. My mother wiped away my tears with a handkerchief. "What a silly child. You are only 19 years old. Later, we will visit the city with your father. There's no need to be concerned about not finding a good man. Yes, having fulfilled my obsession, my father is doing exceptionally well in the south. He is just waiting for me to marry Leo, and then we will all go to the city together." Leo, an elementary school teacher, is gentle and refined. My father liked him at first sight because he had only attended elementary school, yet he became wealthy. He holds educated people in high regard as a result of reform and opening up. I smiled. "I will do what you say, Mum." When my mother learned that I would not marry Leo, she was overjoyed. "Ella, you can sleep for a little longer. I will get up and make you breakfast later. I will kill the old hen. We'll eat old hen soup at noon. Anyway, we're heading to the city, so I'll kill the old hen and rooster so we can eat them." I smiled cheerfully. "Okay, I will get up and catch the old hen now." "Okay, let's see it together." My mother had already gotten dressed while we were talking. I changed into my clothes and got out of bed. I helped my mother start the fire while she was busy killing the chicken. It was as lively as the spring festival after breakfast. Leo came. He wore a white t-shirt, black pants and black leather shoes. My father brought these leather shoes from the south. He appeared very sunny in my previous life. I would have rushed over and hugged him, but when I saw him, all I could do was smile faintly. "Why are you here?" Leo was stunned when he heard this. "We agreed to go to the city and register. Today, I scratched my head and pretended to forget. Is today the day to register? Leo's tone conveyed some resentment. Ella, how could you forget something so important? I am going to be angry. I remained calm and approached him slowly. If you're angry, Leo, will you not marry me? Leo could no longer pretend and stared at me ferociously. Yes, if I am angry, I will refuse to marry you. I ran to my mother, crying, Mum, Leo is angry and does not want to marry me. My mum hugged me. She looked at Leo, then at me, puzzled. There was something off about this child today. If you don't want to get married, don't. Mum will help you find a good man later. Leo was nervous and rushed over to persuade me. Aunt Ella, I was joking with you. I adore Ella the most. That is common knowledge throughout the township. Aside from that, the villagers are all aware that I plan to register with Ella today. My mother cast a glance at Leo. Don't you notice that Ella isn't happy today? Let's discuss it in a few days. You can go back. I will persuade her. My mother, despite her rural upbringing and limited vocabulary, is reasonable. She is well organized and has a clear mind. She's got my father wrapped around her finger. Even though my father became a successful businessman, he never married again. After my mother died, Lee was disappointed, and resentment appeared in his eyes. Okay, Aunt, please persuade Ella. I'll find Ella in the evening. My mother nodded. Go ahead. My mother looked at me worriedly after Leo left. Ella, is it because of me that you're like this? Are you angry at me? I said it calmly. No. Cecilia is pregnant and the child is Leo's. I'm not stupid enough to marry a man who does not love me. My mother was furious with that bastard. I just assumed he wasn't devoted to you. I didn't realize they had already hooked up. I'll call your father right now and invite him to come back and see for himself the good son-in-law. He praised. I hurriedly pulled my mother, having satisfied my obsession. You must listen to me on this matter. Even though Cecilia is pregnant, how can we prove that the child is Leo's without finding the evidence? My father will refuse to believe it and accuse you of slander. Leo. My mother thought it made sense. Ella, you are right. Your father is a good man in many ways, but he struggles when it comes to selecting a son-in-law. We must persuade your father. I nodded. Okay. According to my memories from previous lives, I waited for Leo and Cecilia at the hospital's entrance. Cecilia was holding Leo's arm and seemed concerned. Leo, are they? I am afraid I am pregnant. Leo comforted her gently. Do not be scared. If you are pregnant, we will have the baby. Cecilia's voice had a crying tone, but I was still a virgin. If the villagers find out, they'll laugh me to death. Leo's eyes darkened and he smiled, saying, We'll head to the city right away. We'll have the baby there. Who will know my goodness? Cecilia and I used to go to the city together. Leo has been using our Ella family's money to support her outside. Our Ella family is signing. Cecilia said, Lee, I will listen to you. I followed them until the exam was completed and then left. She was pregnant. We're 2 months along. I arrived home before they did and informed my mother about Cecilia's pregnancy. My mother was afraid I would be heartbroken, so she persuaded me. We'll head to the south tomorrow without waiting for your father. I smiled and said, Mum, you failed my obsession. I no longer love Leo. We'll head to the city once I've settled things with them. They bullied me like this, and I'm not going to let them off so easily. My mother nodded in agreement. Ella, please tell me how you plan to exact revenge, and I will support you. I smiled in relief. If I had listened to my mother in my previous life, I would not have died as miserably. Thank you, Mum. Before the evening, Leo arrived at our house with a hairpin in his hand. Ella, please let me put this on for you. I dodged angrily. Have you heard any rumors outside? Leo was stunned. What? Rumors. I have been busy at home and have not heard anything. I pretended to be angry and said that the women in the village are spreading the word that Cecilia is pregnant, that she is carrying your child, and that some people saw you accompany her to the hospital for an examination. Leo panicked this morning when he heard this and raised his hand to swear. I swear that I am in a clean relationship with Cecilia. If there's anything between us, I'll open my eyes wide and wait for him to finish. What are you going to do? Leo was cornered by me and had to grit his teeth and say, I'll live in the countryside for the rest of my life and never be able to enter the city. I'll be pouring down and happily clapping my hands for the rest of my life. Clap. Clap. Swearing is always accurate. I believe you, Leo. Leo was angry and turned his face away, waiting for me to coax him, but I told him to leave. Go home. I believe you. Leo immediately turned around and looked at me, puzzled. Is all this in the past? I would have apologized first, then given him a gift to make him happy. I smiled and said that believing is the simplest thing. Should I wait until Cecilia gives birth to conduct a blood test to determine paternity? Leo forced a smile onto his face. There is no need for that. It's just that we were about to register. I smiled. Wait a few more days until the rumors subside. We are going to register. My father will return next month, and then we can go to the city together. Seeing my determination, Leo had to agree the next day that I had fulfilled my obsession because as soon as I went outside, someone stopped me. Ella, do not be silly. Before you register, carefully examine Leo. I noticed Cecilia was very close to him yesterday. Is this rumor true? Is Cecilia pregnant with Leo's child? I smiled and shook my head, so you must have been mistaken. I'm about to register for marriage with Leo because of the child in Cecilia's belly. And you said she's pregnant but a virgin. How can she be pregnant? Did you mishear it? And I took my hand and gently reminded Ella not to be confused. There is no need to rush your registration. Cecilia approached with a smile. Ella and I looked at Cecilia's belly and commented, Cecilia, you appear to have gained some weight. Your face and belly have more flesh. Cecilia was so scared that she sucked in her stomach. I was already fat. I look fatter when I wear summer clothes. They were also showing her support. You know what? Cecilia's belly resembles that of a woman who has given birth. Ella, look at your belly. It's different from hers. I reached out to touch Cecilia's belly, but she moved quickly away. I still have things to do. I'm going back with that. She fled and continued to speak with me, and as a mother of 3, I can confidently state that Cecilia is pregnant. After at least 2 months, it became clear that the guest was correct. The doctor stated that it had been more than 2 months. Yesterday, I believe both you and I nodded. As soon as we arrived at the village's east end, people began gossiping that I had a lover outside and had failed to register with Leo. She's likely pregnant, which is why she won't register with Leo. I paused and looked at the gossipy women. Among them were Cecilia's mother and sister-in-law. You mentioned that I have a lover and that I am pregnant. Have you got any evidence? Cecilia's mother was taken aback, but she replied confidently that if everyone is spreading this, it must be true. I responded directly. If I start spreading rumors that your eldest son was born to you and the old bachelor at the village's east end, and that your Cecilia was born to you and that old bachelor at the village's west end, will that be true? Cecilia's mother jumped up and attempted to hit me with nonsense. I will rip your mouth apart. What would you like to do with my daughter? My mother stood in front of me. I pushed my mother aside. Mum, I am fine. We were only joking. Cecilia asked angrily, who's joking with you? You're just a girl who speaks nonsense. I am not just a little girl. I had just lived 2 lifetimes. Someone approached with a smile. Look, these rumors are highly detailed. I don't know whether they're true or false. They say Cecilia is pregnant with Leo's child one moment, and Ella is pregnant with another man's child the next. But I smiled and said, it's easy to tell whether it's true or false. Find a doctor, and we'll know. Cecilia emerged from the crowd in a panic. I can prove that Ella does have a lover. When I was on the back mountain the other day, I noticed her hugging a man. The man was wearing a gray vest, judging by his back. He was young, thin, and tall. Everyone searched the crowd based on her description. There were dozens of people gathered here, all eager to make fun of me. They eventually had to rely on their instincts. Their gaze fell on Ryan, an orphan. His parents died of illness when he was young, so his grandmother raised him. His grandmother died last year, and he was now all alone. However, in my previous life, he went to the city the 2nd year after I did. I heard he was doing well and had married the daughter of a prominent city official. Ryan. Ryan stared straight at me, unsure what to say. Usually, when they met, they greeted each other. He also knew I had long harbored feelings for Leo. I ran up to him, smiled, and grabbed his hand. Ryan Russin, will you marry me? Ryan stared at me for a long time before nodding. Okay, no way. Leo approached and separated us, then looked at me angrily. You promised to marry me just because of a minor disagreement. You found a lover and are pregnant. I slapped Leo in the face. My lover. Please tell me who the lover is. Ryan and I are innocent. We're the same age and both unmarried. What's wrong with getting married while ignoring the pain on his face? Leo grabbed me again and said, Ella, stop causing trouble. Even if you are pregnant with this child, I will still marry you. I promise to love you forever, and I will not break my word. We'll get rid of the child in your belly and live a happy life, okay? Leo is very nice. Ella gave him a big cuckoo, but he still forgave her. What a good man. Everyone felt bad for Leo. I shook off Leo and shouted at the audience, where is Aunt, the miracle doctor? And the miracle doctor was our village's traditional Chinese doctor. People nicknamed him Aunt, the miracle doctor, because his medical treatment was both inexpensive and effective. I'm here, and the miracle doctor emerged from behind the crowd. I stretched my arm. Help me find out if I'm pregnant. The miracle doctor felt my pulse and kept shaking his head. You are not pregnant. I shouted to everyone, you've all heard what an An is. The miracle doctor said what? The crowd started talking quickly. Whoever spreads such rumors is truly malicious in claiming that she is pregnant. I didn't care about their gossip. Instead, I rushed up to Cecilia and grabbed her while the miracle doctor examined her. When Leo saw this, he rushed over and tried to pull my hand away, while also attempting to prevent the miracle doctor from feeling her pulse. The miracle doctor was clever. While Lee held his right hand, he pressed his left hand against Cecilia's pulse. It's been over 2 months. Oh, more than 2 months. Aunt, the miracle doctor, you mean Cecilia is pregnant? Everyone was shocked, and the miracle doctor looked at Cecilia with concern. Girl, the fetus is not stable yet. Avoid sex, you should rest quietly. There are indications of an impending abortion. Later, I will prescribe some medication to protect the fetus. You went to get the medicine, and as a miracle, the doctor was talking with a happy expression. Cecilia ran away, blushing. Cecilia's mother cursed quietly. You're a quack doctor. This resulted in Alosi being pregnant while still having an affair with a lover. She is extremely shameless. Everyone looked at Cecilia's mother, disgusted. This is how she raised her daughter. When Aunt, the miracle doctor, heard this, he was upset. If you don't believe it, take her to the county hospital for a checkup. We believe in Aunt, the miracle doctor's medical abilities. He cannot be wrong. Everyone cited Aunt the miracle doctor. Someone in the crowd inquired, who is Cecilia's lover? I looked up at Leo and noticed a hint of hatred in his eyes. You should ask Cecilia about her aunt's side. If it's a young guy, it's fine, but if it's an older man or something else, yes. Cecilia is fearless. Becoming pregnant before marriage. I hope a heartless man doesn't dupe her. Leo couldn't take it any longer and shouted, everyone, go home. Gossiping behind people's backs is something no gentleman would do. Let's go. Everyone, go home. The village had also emerged and spoken in the late 1980s. Getting pregnant before marriage would make others look down on you. Since I had cleared my name, there was no reason for me to stay here before leaving. I told Ryan to dress neatly. Tomorrow morning, we'll go to the city to register. Leo was upset when he heard this and grabbed my hand. You're crossing the line. I looked at Ryan with pleading eyes. Ryan helped me let go of my fiancé. Ryan tightly gripped Leo's wrist, and Leo burst into tears from pain. You, country bumpkin, are pretty strong. Ryan did farm work every day, so he was naturally stronger. Lee was different. He considered himself educated and had never worked on a farm. Ryan usually appeared gentle and honest. I didn't know where he got his courage today. He stood in front of me, dominantly pointing at Leo. Ella is my fiancée. Please stay away from her. So imposing. I had never seen this domineering side of him before. Leo glared at Ryan with ferocity. You're just Ella's tool for making me angry. Do you believe she likes you and will marry you in your dreams? Believe me, in 2 or 3 days, she'll be begging me to register with her. I spat on Leo's face. You're going too far. Get lost. Leo wiped his face and noticed it was spit. He ran home disgusted. After Leo left, Ryan smiled and said, before you find the man you truly want, I can be your fiancé. I grabbed his hand and said, I am serious. Will you marry me? William pushed my hand away, lowered his head and smiled. I am just an orphan. Do you know what my family situation is? I stared at him and asked again, will you marry me? Ryan nodded. I will. I cheerfully threw myself into his arms. We will register tomorrow. We will get married. When my father returned, happiness came unexpectedly. I lay in his arms, and he didn't move, so I ran home to tell my mother. Ryan, despite being an orphan, is a good boy, which made my mother very happy. I watched him grow up. He's honest, and I like him. I smiled and replied, I like him too. The next morning, we left for the city to register. We spent the entire day in the town buying wedding-related items. I also purchased several new sets of clothing for Ryan. We ate dinner at my house before heading to the city. We agreed to celebrate when we returned. We killed an old hen for soup and a rooster for braised chicken. We also cooked 2 vegetarian meals. It was quite the feast. My mother-in-law appeared to be trying very hard. Ryan, do not worry. Have you married our Ella? We will not mistreat you. Your parents died at an early age. You can think of me as your mother. You work hard. If you follow Ella's father, you will undoubtedly succeed. I felt shy while listening to this. Ryan just kept nodding, unsure what to say. After dinner, I sent Ryan home. 3 days had passed, and Lee was still waiting for my apology. He came searching for me. I just left the house. He saw me handing out wedding candy in the village. He came over excitedly and pulled me aside. I'm not angry anymore. I forgive you. I shook him off. It makes no difference to me whether you're angry or not, Leo said with a cheeky smile. I know you wanted to surprise me by secretly handing out wedding candy. Aren't you embarrassed that I discovered? I smiled bitterly. Leo, you are a Chinese teacher. Your imagination is vibrant. What does giving away wedding candies have to do with you? My husband's name is Ryan. When Leo heard this, he collapsed to the ground. Impossible. You love me the most. Ryan approached and gently grabbed my hand, saying, You can't live without me. Ella, it is hot. Let me hand out the wedding candy. You go back to rest. I smiled. It's okay. I want to hand out our wedding candy myself. Leo sat on the ground and exclaimed, impossible. You can only marry me. Ryan is only an orphan. Why does he have the right to take you from me? We ignored him. After handing out wedding candies, we went to another location, where we were seen holding hands and leaving. Leo almost went insane. He was so unwilling that the nearly cooked duck flew away at night. I was half asleep when I felt a hand on me. I opened my eyes abruptly and took a quick look at the moonlight. Leo, you're a beast. Do you realize what you are doing is illegal? I kicked him off the bed, turned on the light, and grabbed a flashlight. You're getting bolder. Even if you do this, we still have no hope. Leo refused to give up and lunged at me after we slept together. We'll see who still wants you. Please wait and beg me to marry you. Looking at his ferocious face, I was disgusted. How could I have missed his true colors in my previous life? You're dreaming. I pointed the flashlight directly at his forehead. He touched it and laughed loudly. You've been with me for 3 years and haven't let me touch you. I will have you today. He lunged at me again, and I struggled desperately but couldn't get free. He desperately tried to rip off my clothes just as I was losing hope. Leo let go. My mother was striking Leo with a stick. You brute. Even if my daughter never marries, she will not marry you. I quickly wrapped myself in the quilt and my mother reached out to pat me. Do not be afraid. Mum is here. It took Leo a while to respond. He stood up and began cursing my mother. It is all because of you. You kept speaking ill of me in front of Ella, causing her to turn against me. Today, I will sleep with both of you. My mother swung the stick at him before saying anything else. Leo tried to resist but had no chance. He was beaten until he collapsed on the floor, and my mother stopped. I hid in the quilt and changed into my clothes. I got out of bed and grabbed the stick from my mother's hand. You brute. You attempted to take advantage of me. I will beat you to death today. I wasn't sure how many times I hit him. My mother only said, leave him alive. Then I stopped. I was taken aback when I noticed Leo remained motionless. Mum, is he dead? My mother smiled faintly. He still has some breath left. He won't die if he truly dies. We will also drag him to the back mountain and feed him to the wolves' cough. You poisonous woman. Leo made a faint sound on the floor. Mum, he is not dead. Should we give him a few more blows and send him to the back mountain? Otherwise, he will cause trouble in the future. My mother and I exchanged smiles. Even if we don't beat him to death, we will scare him half to death and make it clear that we, mother and daughter, will not be bullied. Forget it. Let us spare his life. If he tries to bully you again, we can kill him later. My mother said it casually, as if killing a chicken was so simple. You, poisonous woman. Leo could only curse. He wasn't sure what else to say to express his feelings. I squatted in front of Leo smiling. Cecilia is pregnant with your child, but you still want to register with me. What made you mistake me for a fool? Leo denied this. I'm not sure which child is in Cecilia's belly. Why do you believe it is mine? Do you know who I am? I smiled and replied. Cecilia told me. She even boasted in front of me that you only love her. You're going to marry me solely for my family's money. She also stated that you will take her to the city, raise the child for her, and allow the child to inherit the Ella family's property. My mum slapped him. You brute. You truly have a good plan. Leo secretly cursed Cecilia as a fool in his heart, but he denied it to Bali. Do not listen to that crazy woman. She was pregnant and unable to find a man, so she claimed it was mine. If you don't believe me, let's confront her. I stood up and smiled. Forget it. Anyway, heading ruined my session. I have already registered with Ryan. I showed him the marriage certificate. Open your dog's eyes and scrutinize them. I am already married to Ryan. Leo laughed as you saw our marriage certificate. It's not real. It can't be real. My mother lost patience and yelled at me. Please give me a hand and send him out the door. You are poisonous women. You are all toxic women amid Leo's curses. My mum and I dragged him outside after closing the door. I didn't go back inside immediately. Instead, I heard the commotion outside, behind the door. I was correct. He didn't arrive alone. Cecilia was crying. What happened? Didn't you succeed? When Leo saw Cecilia, his eyes blazed with rage. Who told you to tell her you were pregnant with my child, you fool? Cecilia seemed upset. I did not. She wiped away her tears and went to help Leo. Leo pushed her away. Get lost. I do not want to see you. Cecilia helped him while crying. Leo Eschel, let us go back and treat your wounds. They're very ruthless. After throwing a tantrum for a while, Leo let Cecilia help him leave. I didn't see Leo for the next week, and Cecilia was so intimidated by public opinion that she refused to go out. The entire village was now spreading the word that Cecilia was pregnant with Leo's child and angry. I married dry. Everyone said it. Ryan was fortunate. He was an orphan, but after we married, he had everything. When I told Ryan what happened last night, he pulled me into his arms. I will stand guard outside your door from now on. I smiled. I've put a stick by my bed. If he dares to return, I will beat him to death. Ryan spent the next few days sleeping outside the door. Later, I learned about Leo and Cecilia, but I was too lazy to care. I was just busy getting ready for our wedding. A month later, my father returned. When he realized Ryan had been well groomed by me and was a handsome and talented man, my father readily consented. My father took my hand. As long as Ryan is a good man and your father is present, you can live a good life. I discovered the money while happily nestled in my father's arms. You're so lovely, Dad. It was the same in my previous existence. My father would never say no to anything I asked for. As soon as I said it, my father pushed me away and laughed. You're my only daughter, silly girl. If I am not good to you, who else should I be good to? Your mother injured her body while giving birth to you, so she was unable to have another child. My mother huffed. You can marry another woman to have a child for yourself. When my father noticed my mother was angry, he dashed over to comfort her. Our wedding date was set for the 6th day of the 8th lunar month. My mother personally arranged for someone to check our horoscopes and determine that it was a good day to marry me. Leo came into our house and knelt in front of my father, swearing, "Uncle, I'm frank with Ella, and if I have any bad intentions towards her." My father kicked me out before I could finish. You are a scumbag. I hadn't gone looking for you, but you came to our door. My dad stepped on his hand. You brute. I refuse to take your life for the sake of our fellow villagers. If you harass my daughter, Ella, again, I will kill you. Following that, he kicked Leo again. My father was a tough man. He used to be a bully around the village. Following these 2 kicks, Leo vomited blood directly. It took him a while to get up. He spat a mouthful of blood and glared at me. You wait. We did not take his words seriously. The wedding day came quickly. My father extended an invitation to many of his friends and relatives. Everyone knew that my father had made a fortune in the south, and those who knew about it rushed to attend the wedding. My father was generous. He did not collect the gift money, allowing everyone to eat and drink freely. Return gifts were also generous. In addition to the wedding candies, each gift included a bar of soap and a towel. Everyone was delighted to eat and even happier to open the return gifts. Leo stood in the distance, grinding his teeth in hatred. All of these things should have belonged to him, but Ryan took advantage. Who told you to say Ryan is the bitch's lover? No, they married him. How do I follow them into the city? With that, he began beating and kicking Cecilia. Cecilia had Leo's leg out in grief. Why do you need to go to the town? Ella is just a wealthy person. Your reputation as a teacher has improved. Leo became even angrier when he heard this. What do you know? A good reputation as a teacher does not necessarily imply financial success. I want money. You only have experience teaching. You'll never be able to leave this impoverished place. I hate having to teach you, fool. You have ruined everything. Leo went and drank his sorrows away in the bridal chamber. Ryan looked at me intently. You're stunningly beautiful. I lowered my head shyly. I didn't expect your mouth to look like this. Do you regret marrying me? He was still staring at me. The corners of his mouth raised, and he smiled broadly. Ella, you should know that I fell in love with you a long time ago. But because I am an orphan, I was afraid that I would be unable to provide you with happiness, so I did not pursue you. I grabbed his hand. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Perhaps I would not have been duped by Leo for so long. Ryan quickly covered my mouth with his hand. Do not mention that person, it is unlucky. I nodded. It is unlucky. 3 days later, our family traveled to the south, and we did not return until the spring festival. Then I heard that Leo was forced to marry Cecilia, but she miscarried the child. Leo beat her while he was drunk. My parents and Ryan were busy planning the spring festival when he kicked her in the stomach, and the baby died before they arrived at the hospital. I was the only person sitting in the yard, basking in the sun. Cecilia came, wrapped in a scarf. I was afraid she would hurt me. I quickly covered my stomach and stepped back. She could hurt me, but not the baby in my womb. I was already 3 months pregnant. What do you want, Cecilia? Cecilia removed her scarf, revealing a disfigured face covered in scars from knife cuts, whip marks, and fingernail scratches. Did he do all of these? Cecilia smiled. He is not a human being. He's very ruthless. I shake my head. Since you are married, live a good life. Cecilia knelt on the ground and grabbed my hands, pleading. Please take me to the city. Okay, I heard I could get a job in the city. Please take me with you. I can even play Annie in your home. I desperately tried to pull my hands back, but she was holding on tight. Please, Ella. If I stay with Leo, he will beat me to death. It had nothing to do with my past life. When Leo pulled up my oxygen tube, she stood there staring at me. Provocatively, let go of my help, I exclaimed loudly. When Ryan overheard me, he rushed over, kicked Cecilia away, and hugged me tightly. Do not be afraid, Ella, I'm here. Cecilia burst out laughing when she saw Ryan being so gentle with me. This is my retribution. Ryan shouted, get lost. Go away now. Then he nervously carried me inside the house. Cecilia was extremely envious when she saw the scene on New Year's Eve. Cecilia hanged herself. According to Cecilia's mother, Lee was extremely jealous when he saw her wearing an iron, wearing a tiger skin coat, and handing out cigarettes to everyone. He beat Cecilia again while he was drinking at night. When they woke up in the morning, they noticed Cecilia hanging from the beam. When Lee awoke and discovered Cecilia had died, his heart was filled with despair. He took a knife, cut his wrist, and lay down next to Cecilia. Cecilia's family despised Leo fiercely. They did not allow Leo and Cecilia to be buried together after their deaths following the spring festival. We returned to the south on the 4th day of the first lunar month, and I tried not to ask too many questions about what had happened in the village. Ryan and I had our first child, a boy, in late June. My parents and Ryan both liked him a lot. My mother and 2 nannies took care of both me and the baby. 1 year later, I gave birth to a boy and a girl. A year later, I gave birth to triplets, 2 boys and 1 girl. We had too many children, and were fined heavily for it. My father stated that he was not afraid to have multiple children, as long as I was willing to give birth. He did not care how much we were fined for having sons and daughters in this life. I finally have my kids. Several years later, I was sitting in the yard, basking in the sun, and said to Ryan, smiling, I can't believe I now have a large family, including children and grandchildren. Ryan poured me a cup of tea for my sons, 2 daughters, 8 grandchildren, and 2 granddaughters, along with my son-in-law and daughters-in-law. I can't even count how many people are there. You were very good at having children back then. I can't even match the names anymore. I smiled and said, yes, every time they return, there isn't enough space in the living room. We should quickly move to a larger villa. Grandma, Grandpa, maternal grandpa, and maternal grandma, we wish you a happy new year. Good, I will prepare the lucky money. Looking at the group of children, I squinted into slits with a smile. I stood up and walked to the bedroom. I'd already prepared the red envelopes. How many children were there? Every time I prepared 100. The servants collected the remaining red envelopes. I lay in a gentle haze on the hospital bed, the hum of voices drifting in and out. Someone whispered, almost in awe. This centenarian has a huge family, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, more than 100 in total, each with their own bustling homes. I closed my eyes, a soft smile touched my lips. What a full life, the end.